Hi, and welcome to Word of Faith with Miracle, where I bring you the Word of God each and every Sunday to encourage you and also to get you through the week. To be connected with me, I would urge you to please subscribe and also turn on your post notification button so that anytime I post a video, you will be the first to get it. Thank you. So our word of faith for the week is talk to God. You know, as a child of God, as a believer, your best friend is God. Your best friend should be God. It doesn't matter anything you go through each and every day. It doesn't matter the sufferings. It doesn't matter the pain. It doesn't matter how many times you've told God about it. Still keep talking to Jesus. You know, the fact that God made you on this earth means that He is the only one that can solve any problem that is pertaining to this earth. That is why you need to talk to God. You know, let's go into the Bible and let's look at the story of Moses. You know, Moses was chosen by God when he didn't even know he had a role to play, okay? And he was chosen by God to get the Egyptians from the hands of Pharaoh. And it wasn't easy even to get the Egyptians from the hands of Pharaoh. And let's not talk about getting them to Canaan. Like, it wasn't easy. And I cannot specifically talk about the number of people, but from reading it, you could see that it is a lot, okay? And he got the people from the hands of Pharaoh, like he saved the people from the hands of Pharaoh. And they were going to the land of Canaan. And if you read the Bible, you could see that they go from one town to the other. So it means that the road or the pathway to Canaan was a long one. And as they are going, anything that hits them, any second or anything that hits the people for just a minute, they would complain to Moses. And they would complain and complain bitterly, like the way they complain, it feels like they are not grateful to God for anything that God has done for them. And they'll bring all those problems to Moses. And like, just imagine over, let's just say 100 people, and 100 people are complaining, Moses, if you just left us to die, we would have died in Egypt and we would have been okay. You know, everyone is grumbling, everybody is being nosy and all of that. You know, how would you feel? You didn't even ask God for this. You are just somewhere, you are chilling, and God just took you and He says that go and save the people. So if I was Moses, I would have just given up and say, you know what, God, I just don't want to do this anymore, please. I don't have anything to do with this at the first place. You called me, so please come and take your people and send them. But Moses never did that. You know, anytime the people came to him with their problems, with their grumbling and all of that, he would just go to the tent of meeting and talk to Jesus, because he knows that Jesus is the only one that can solve this problem. And Moses was not arrogant or prideful enough to say that I am giving up on these people just because they are, you know, hurting me, or just because they are over talking and all of that. But instead, anytime that the people came to Moses with their problems or with their grumbling, Moses would always go to the tent of meeting to talk to Jesus. And anytime he talked to Jesus too, there is always a solution to their problems. So I want us to read Numbers chapter 20. I think there has been so many times that the people had done this to Moses, and there have been so many times Moses will go back to the tent of meeting to do what? To talk to Jesus about it. But I just want us to read something small about what I am talking about. So Numbers chapter 20 verse 3. Okay, let me start. In the first month, the whole Israelite community arrived at the desert of Sin, and they stayed at Kadesh. There Miriam died and was buried. Now there was no water for the community, and the people gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron. They quarreled with Moses and said, if only we had died when our brothers fell dead before the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord's community into this desert that we and our livestock should die here? Hey, Israelites, why did you bring us up out of Egypt to this terrible place? It has no grain or figs, grapevines or pomegranate, and there is no water to drink. Moses and Aaron went from the assembly to the entrance to the tent of meeting and fell to the Lord. And the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together. Speak to that rock before their eyes and it will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community so they and their livestock can drink it. Guys, like, can you imagine what is going on right now? God saved you from the hands of Pharaoh, and look at how ungrateful these people are being, that if only Moses left them to die there just because you don't have water. And this is what we most of the times go through, or we say sometimes. The moment something small hits us, we are just like, God, what is happening to me? Why don't you love me? Why don't you care about me? Blah 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 and so forth. But that is not the case. Sometimes you are just not talking to Jesus about it. Sometimes you are using your own will instead of giving it to God. Sometimes you are using your own understanding when you have to actually give that to God and lean on God's understanding. Okay, so in anything that you are going through, just talk to God. So this week, all I want us to do is to talk to God about every single thing that we are going through, every single difficulty that we are going through. And mind you, the fact that you've talked to God once and he has not listened doesn't mean that stop talking to God or give up on it. No, do not give up on him. The fact that you've talked to God one and he's not listening, talk to God again tomorrow, talk to God again the next day, talk to God each and every minute of your time. When something small hits you, don't run anywhere. Don't go and be drinking alcohol because you are stressed out. Don't go and be smoking just because this problem is so hard for you. Don't go and indulge in any form of illegalities or sinful behaviors just because you can't handle your problems. But anytime something small hits you, run to God, fall on your knees, pray to God, because he's the only one that can help you. He's the only one that can solve your problems. Drinking, smoking, sinful behaviors, they will just make your problem worse, because you go from frying to fire. Okay, if you drink, you will be addicted to it. If you drink, there are so many circumstances that you can fall into, and it is not a good thing. Okay, so in this week, all I want you to do is to talk to Jesus about every single problem that you are going through, and I know that he is going to answer you, and he's definitely going to make a way for you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.